was 5 years old, I just knew I could sing. And I don't know if that's really that bizarre because my parents are musicians. My mother's a piano teacher and my father was a pretty well-known concert pianist. So I was around a lot of music and a lot of musicians, and my father was a professor at the conservatory in Kansas City where I grew up. And as I grew older, I would go to my older brother and sister's choir concerts, and I just knew that I wanted to do that. And so as soon as I was 14, that's when I started taking voice, because 14 is really like the best age to start taking voice lessons. And my voice was just a little bit more suited for classical singing. And I was a very rebellious teenager, and so when it was time to go to college, I was like, oh, I'm not going to do music. My parents do music. Certainly, I'm not. I will do psychology. And that lasted about a semester. And then I got pretty heavily involved in music and the voice program at the University of Missouri, Kansas City Conservatory of Music. And that's where I met my teacher, Inchi Bashar, and I have studied with her since 1997. And actually, we're going to have a Skype lesson on Sunday. She still lives in Kansas City, and we Skype lessons about once a month. I was really excited to audition for him, and I sang Una voce poco fa from The Barber of Seville, and we did some exercises in the room together, and then I got hired that season to do some stuff with him, and I've been fortunate enough to work with him just about every season that he's been here. And I was really excited when he asked me to do the Brahms Alto Rhapsody, and then decided to add the Mahler Rückertlieder on top of that. Blicke mir nicht in die Lieder. And it's basically the narrator saying, don't watch me while I write my songs. Don't pay attention to my process. You don't watch bees when they're building the hive. You just get to eat the honey afterwards. And I love that, because as anybody who does anything artistic, you know that it's like the process, you just don't want anybody watching your process. Everybody gets to whatever they get to in their own way. So that's a really fun song. And then the next song is about this linden branch that this sweet man has brought into my room, and the fragrance pervades everything. And it's just this like, it's basically like this snapshot. It kind of feels like a photograph to me. And it's just really about this branch of linden. And then the next one, the third one, is probably the deepest in the set. The third one is Ich bin der Welt abhanden gekommen, and this one's more like a Zen kind of poem in a way, and I think Rückert was very much into Zen poetry himself as well, and kind of the Zen lifestyle. And this poem talks about somebody who's lost to the world. They're pretty much like just dead to the world. They live in their own still little heaven of their song and their own happiness. And so at the beginning you kind of think, well, if you're dead to the world, are you like upset about this? But then at the end you find out that the narrator is totally peaceful, and it seems like this was by choice. And then we end with Liebst du Schönheit? Oh my gosh, this one has my favorite German word in it, which is the German word for mermaid is Meerfrau. And basically this song is saying, if you love for beauty, don't love me, love the sun. If you love for youth, don't love me, love the spring. If you love for riches, don't love me, love the mermaid. But if you love for love, oh, love me and I will love you back forever. And so that's how that set ends. And we're going to do that before we do the Alto Rhapsody. I'd always heard, the story is that Brahms was desperately in love with Clara Schumann, and then for the rumor to also be that he fell in love with their daughter, and that he composed the Alto Rhapsody as a wedding present for her. I mean, it's really like pretty heavy stuff for a wedding gift. Yeah, you know, I guess that would be Brahms' heart anguish. This song is about this person whose soul is sort of this barren wasteland, and instead of drinking from the fullness of love and life, he drank from the hatred of man. And this anguish and the first part sort of illustrates kind of a barren wasteland, And then when the alto soloist and the male chorus come in together, it's like this prayer that he find love, and that the Father in heaven above, the Father of love, will grant his soul peace. So it's kind of a nice resolve, but it starts out pretty heavy, and you can hear it in the orchestra part. The whole first, I think maybe it's like 1 to 2 minutes, is a setup for a lot of darkness to overcome.